Well, good morning, Substackers. I want to welcome you guys in. I have decided, and for those of you that have been following, that have been part of this journey with me for, the last couple months that we've been on Substack, I've decided to make this my vehicle for unfiltered truths and live conversations like this, as opposed to other platforms. And there's a reason for that. There's multiple reasons for that. One of the reasons is that I've been looking for a platform, an opportunity to where I can connect more deeply and intimately with those folks that value my voice, that value my thoughts on business, on life, and all, and how they intermingle. And so this morning I thought I'd go live because I want to reflect on this week and I want to share some thoughts and with you guys. And so that's what we're doing. So welcome into you all that are joining live. For those that are watching this on replay, I appreciate you too. Like, it is always such a an honor that anyone would give me their time. I value that more than you will ever know, and it means a lot. So I want to make sure that those that choose to gift me their time, that I bring as much value as I possibly can. So this morning, I'm kind of reflecting on the week. I'm also doing a little bit of self work. For those of you that have been followers for a long time on platforms like LinkedIn, you know that Saturday I work. Every when I'm home, every Saturday I work. It's just what I do. And for me, that Saturday work is some of my most productive work of the week because it allows me to really get into ideation. It allows me to get into my creative brain without any distractions. I don't have emails coming in. I don't have calls. I don't have text. I don't have those things that would distract me from that creativity that I need. Again, for the ideation. So I get so much quality work done on Saturday. But I've decided to add a little something to my Saturdays that I haven't in the past, which is taking a little bit of time for self-development, taking a little bit of time to for to work on education. So I've been reading this book here, and I always jokingly say that I have an MBA. I don't have an MBA from an accredited institution, but 25 years of entrepreneurship. I think I got a damn MBA. That said, you can never stop learning. And I want to share with y'all, as I've started to read this book, there's been one page, I'm probably 60, 70 pages in. There's one thing that I've read in here that just keeps sticking with me, and I want to share it with you all. And then I'm going to reflect on the week, tell you some lessons that I've learned and some things that I'm applying that hopefully can help you in your journey as well. So there's this chapter in here, and there's this one sentence that I just can't get out of my brain, and where he talks about starting and stopping, and that business entrepreneurship is constant starts and stops. And it resonated so deeply and intimately because, again, I've been on this journey for 25 years, right? And and so here's why it resonated, because every year we go into the year. I'm no different than any one of you all. We go into the year and we've got these great aspirations and hopes, and I'll share mine with you all. Going into the year, my number one objective was I am going to be LinkedIn Learning's number one sales instructor. I'm going to take what's going on, Keith? What's up? I'm going to take over that platform. That was my objective. Why? Because it's my genius zone. It's my talent. It's my I love the camera. I love teaching. I'm great at teleprompter. All of those things. So I'm like going into the year. That's what I'm going to do. For those of you that do not know, I'm a LinkedIn Learning instructor and I'm a licensed partner. What that means is that my team and I, we make all of our course content and then we license it to LinkedIn. So going into the year, I had an objective of 40 courses, 40 that we were going to author, produce, edit, and license to LinkedIn. So, and we were well on our way. And then May happens. And in May, Microsoft says, "Oh, yeah, we're throwing a monkey wrench into everything. Those courses that you have contracted, because there's a whole process. I'm giving you guys a short and condensed version. There's a whole process that goes to contracting courses, aside from the 3 years that was put into proving my credibility and proving my worth and doing courses for them and their studios, and then being able to prove that we were capable of doing the same quality courses that they expect. 3 years to work into that, and then pitching our ideas, getting those contracted on ink, right? I'm talking inked contracts. And then in May, Microsoft says, "No, we're changing everything, and all those courses that you have contracted, they're done." So I'm very grateful to LinkedIn. I'm very grateful to Microsoft. And we have 17 courses on their platform right now, but the objective was 40. And to be fair, I'm not everyone's been affected. It's been a big deal in the LinkedIn Learning author and instructor community. So now I'm sitting and I'm thinking, okay, well, that was my big goal. And you guys can all identify with this because going into the year, we all set these big, beefy goals. But now I have to restart. And there was nothing that I did that made this happen. It was just what happened. So we have a choice. Do we become a victim of a situation or do we become a victor? Well, I'm a 25-year entrepreneur, so you guys already know how I roll. So here comes the lesson and why this thing stuck with me so much. The starts and stops is that I had to take what I learned through that experience and apply it to the next start. Because in entrepreneurship and business, it's constant starts and stops. Constant. But here is the biggest thing. And I've coached thousands of sellers, I've consulted dozens of companies and in tech and beyond. And the biggest thing that I see, especially from founders, is that what they do is they don't learn from those starts and stops. They don't apply the lessons that they learn to the next start. And then that's what gets in their way. And to be fair, I'm 25 years into this. So I probably did a lot of that too earlier on. But now, while I'm not happy with this particular start and stop, I've learned to embrace it. I've learned to show gratitude for that other part of the journey and then take what I learned from that part of the journey and apply it to the next. So for me, what that means specifically with the LinkedIn learning stuff is that I learned so much through their process and working with them and working for them. And so now those lessons I'm applying on my own platforms, right? So Say Less Academy, everything you see in Say Less Academy would not exist without LinkedIn and without those lessons that I learned from LinkedIn learning. So I'm applying all those to this next iteration. So when I read this book and it says that business is all about starts and stops, and I couldn't agree more. But again, the lesson, and I'm coming to you guys as someone that not only is in the journey, but coaches and consults lots and lots of people. And it is one of the biggest things that I see because here's the thing, you guys are leaders right there. You're leaders in business, you have your entrepreneurs, your managers, your VPs, your C levels, and part of the way that you get to being that is being confident in yourself, being confident in your decision making. But however, what I've seen in my work is that becomes at some point a detriment, a detriment because we're so convicted and we're so convicted, which by the way, you have to be confident, but we're so convicted that we don't learn and apply the lessons that we earned. Hear that? You hear what I'm saying? Not learned, earned. Those lessons are hard earned and we don't apply them. So that's what I pick up from this book. And in my personal journey, that's what's going on. So I will say, I do appreciate all of you that have subscriptions to Say Less Academy, that have taken it to your companies. I appreciate all that. Thank you so much. Because we put a lot of hard work in it, and everything that you see is hard earned. All right, so we're doing reflection now. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about what I'm reading. So put that on the screen. So if you guys want to check this book out, it's The Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman, and thus far I'm enjoying it. All right, let's talk about the week. Oh my God, what a doozy. Um, God, a lot happened this week, starting with my niece's 16th birthday. So shout out to my niece Malia, who we celebrated her 16th birthday. Um, and let's get into the business week. Oh, where do we start? First of all, y'all are checking in. What happened with you this week? How are you feeling? You enjoying your coffee this morning? For those that have just joined or didn't, just know this is what I do every well, not this. Typically, what I do, I'm at my Saturday coffee spot here in near my home, Zoom Coffee Roasters. I have my own personal table right in there, and I work here 4 hours or so every Saturday. And again, the reason I do that is it's my most productive work of the week. No distractions, great for ideation, great for um, a creative thought without distractions. All right, so this week, it's consulting clients. I love that work. I really do. And more specifically, I love helping people with their front end sales execution because it's such a challenge and there's such a gap. Um, and so a lot of that, I did attend an event put on by Talaris this week. It was an AI summit, and yeah, they did a really good job with that. Um, what are some of the challenges this week? Hmm. It was top of mind before I cut the camera on. Now I'm like, please, what did I? Oh my gosh, that's part of the DNA of an entrepreneur. It's kind of like think about a boxer. A boxer takes punches. A boxer may take 50, 60 punches around. You think that guy remembers the first 10 punches or doesn't remember? He only remembers the hard ones. It's kind of the same thing in entrepreneurship. You don't remember all the punches. You just take them and you duck and dodge and move and counter punch. There's a lot of counter punching this week. Definitely a lot of counter punching. Oh, let me tell you a couple things I'm working on in the business. Um, Someone, I can't see your name, but it says just spoke on my last AI panel of the year, so I'm napping it up. Dude, up. Good for you. Good for you. But only not for a minute. Get your ass back up. Get some more. It's last time I checked, it is November 15th. We have a month and a half left. We got to build that momentum going. Oh, Mar. It's Mar. Hey, Mar. I need you to do some more speaking, okay? You got 45 days left in this month. You need to, in this year rather, build that momentum. So a couple things that I'm working on, and this might be of interest to you, Mar, and of interest to everyone. AI. Listen, I've been leaning heavily into it for 2 years, and Mariette understands. She actually sat on a panel that I hosted. Mar, when was that? That was a year and a half ago or so. So I've been heavy into this AI thing as she is. She's heavy in AI and understands the legal ramifications of it and all that as an attorney. But I've been heavy into it because I believe I have to, it is my responsibility as someone that has the platform that I have to figure this shit out, to figure it out so that I can first of all, the advice and direction I give you all can be informed and not fear based or sensationalized because we have both sides of it. We have the fear based and then we have the sensationalized. So one of the things that I've been working on intently, and shout out to my friends over at AI SDR, is an AI SDR model for my companies and figuring out how I can make that work and make it authentic, make it true to my relationship centric style of selling and it's been a challenge, but we're working through it. I got to figure it out. So one of the things that's been important to me is that if we're going to use AI agents, I like to be transparent. because that's part of being, relationship centric and building connection. I don't want something communicating as me that isn't me and have people thinking that it's me, which is a challenge with all these so as I've been working with those folks, and again I'm shouting out AISDR. I'm not yet ready um to be an ambassador for them, but I'm shouting them out because as I've been on this journey, their partner success people have um, been very engaged in helping me to create a model that is right for me and my business and for my community, which is vastly different than all the other AI, a lot of the AI best practices out there. Just period, point blank. Most of the AI best practices, and when I say best practices, I don't mean them as being successful practices. I'm just saying the way that people are using them today is largely as an imitation of that person. And I don't want that. I want, just like we have SDRs that do work right now, and SDR isn't the AE, the SDR isn't the founder. The SDR's purpose is to reach out and to to share those value props and to schedule meetings with the founder, with the AE, whatever it is. So I am working to try to create agents, and as we continue on this journey, I will share with you all the information exclusively here, exclusively here. Anyway, as we're working through that, I'm working through how to make these agents, the AI agents, speak in a voice that I am comfortable with, that is clear, that is transparent, because right now we're in this transition period. um in the next couple of years, people will just expect that SDR outreach is an AI agent, but I don't want it to be mimicking or pretending that it's a human when it isn't. So we've been working on how it communicates and telling people, being transparent in a way to where it makes people more comfortable. So case in point, the signature all says, "Hey, this is Ronnell's," and we've done a little kitschy thing. I think we call it it's Little Ronnell, which if you guys have gone to my website, you see there's a tool, an AI tool in there we call Little Ronnell. Anyway, it's Little Ronnell, and it says it's Ronnell's AI assistant, and it's very clear in saying, "Hey, listen, this is what I do. I do outreach and some other things." And it says, if you want to speak to Ronell directly, boom, here's how we do it, right? But it's not presenting itself as me or as another member of my team. It is a member of my team, but it's a robotic member. It's an AI. It's not a human, and I don't want it to appear as a human. And if you, those of you that have read my books, that take my coaching, my trainings, now you understand that when I look at technology, how I want my technology to work, or how I advise people to use technology, because I'm a technologist at the end of the day, is that that technology has to funnel to a real relationship, a real connection. Here's the caveat, or here's just a little more context. That is specifically in a solution or consultative sales environment, which, by the way, if you're listening to me, that's what you're in. If you're in transactional, go ahead and hang up. If you're like, you got to sell 150 widgets this month to be successful, okay, bye. I'm not your guy. But for consultative solution selling, that's not that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to cultivate great relationships that we can monetize for a very long time. And so to that end, the front end of the sales process, whether using AI or whatever other technologies, has to be about funneling to a real connection, funneling to a real, how do I expedite, how do I get them from this to this? And so that's how I look at technology, and how we use it. We don't want it to be a barrier. We don't want it to be a lazy hack. We want it to help to create efficiencies and to be a conduit to real connection. So I'm working through that. I'm not ready to endorse it, but when it's done, the playbook will be here exclusively on Substack, for you all. So if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. That's what I'm doing here. All right, so working through that AI SDR model. Um, Gosh, let me put you all on another little another tool that I'm using that has changed my life. has changed my life, and that is lovable.dev. It's it's I can't I'm not being demonstrative. I'm telling you, it has changed my life and my business. Lovable. So all of the new web pages that you see coming out related to my courses, related to other stuff, they are all being created there. And I have an amazing graphic designer. Love him. He's been, and I've gone through shit, dozens of graphic designers, as you can imagine, over 25 years. But this guy, he gets it. He's a true designer, and I love him. But I can't really, I don't got work for him anymore. I don't have work for him in that capacity because lovable.dev has allowed me to create the content that he does. Now, don't get me wrong, he has an expertise, but his expertise, I'm getting 85% of the way there. And so if I'm 85% of the way there and I don't have to pay him thousands of dollars, it's kind of a no-brainer. So lovable.dev, if you're not on it, get on it. It's been a game changer for me and my business, in my life. And I spent a lot of time on that, um, shoot, pretty much every day. So that's a tool I'm using. I just started using, oh my God, I forget the name of it. I'm leaning into all these tools to better understand them. And in fact, if you guys have some cool AI tools that you're using, please drop them in the chat for myself and for others. I just had someone tell me about, I don't know how it's pronounced, but in in eight or something. Anyway, it's just in8in.com. I've yet to get into it, but I just had someone that I really trust their expertise and their advice a couple of days ago tell me that I need to check that out. So check that out. Gamma to build decks. Oh, thank you for that. And I think that's Mar. Can't see your name. Mar, if I can't see your name, why is that? Is it because you're not a subscriber? If not, let's fix that. I don't know why I can't see your name, but let's get that done. Gamma, thank you. I have been using Presenti, and I've also used Beautiful AI. I like Presenti better than Beautiful. I feel Beautiful. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of like Beautiful is more like 101 and Presenti is like, 102. It just seems a little bit more, a little easier to use and a little bit better quality, but to each his own. Um, this week oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot this. This week we officially announced Legacy to the world. That's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So check out legacytsd.com. We officially announced that this week. So went live on socials, and we have so go to legacytsd.com and please, 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 all of you, if you're on this, please, 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 register for our global launch on December 15th. So December 15th, we'll be doing a Zoom global launch where we're going to tell everybody about the model, tell everyone in detail what it is that we're doing. Um, we are we are actively now, we're not actively recruiting. We are kind of like, it's what's most important right now is we want to get as many people registered for the event so that we can explain everything that we're doing. But I would ask you to please register for the event, whether you are a potential cohort member or an advocate or an ally. There's a space for everybody on this train, and the work that we're doing is important. So I would appreciate y'all support on that. So we launched Legacy this week, and now it's been a 2 year journey to get it to this point, but we officially launched it this week. So check that out. What else? What else? Oh my gosh, just had a great role play session with one of the companies that with their sellers, one of the companies that I consult for. And that that's always energizes me just to see people progress in their skill set and to get better and better when people start leaning in. So funny because whenever you start this stuff, people are always hesitant. They don't necessarily want to lean in, because and it's a lot of that comes from people that have a whole lot of experience. But um, what you find in my line of work is that most people have never really in sales have never really been trained. They get product training and maybe at best they got some initial training when they stepped in to the role, but not very deep. And then they just in sales, it's we just do such a disservice because we basically expect people to learn from their peers. We learn, so it's like, okay, it's all OJT, and unfortunately, most people aren't really equipped to train people properly, and so you learn bad habits. Um, there's no attention to detail. So these are the things that we work on in role play and development. So it's always a joy to see people like progress in their skill set once they get over themselves. Because initially, it's always a lot of pushback because, you got people, six-figure people saying, "Oh, I know how to do this, how to make X amount of money," but they're not living up to their potential because they don't understand how to do some of these fundamental things, or sometimes they do understand, but they just have gotten lazy and have gotten away from it. Anyway, so that happened. That was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, what else? I see Jamel join. Hey, Jamel. Um, yeah, Jamel, if you guys aren't connected to Jamel, make sure you connect to my little brother Jamel. Yeah, and by the way, Jamel, proud of you, bro. Great week. Um, it's you're entering a great season. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being an advocate for the voiceless, and stay on your grind. All right. Um, I think that's it for today. Are y'all tired of listening to me? If you are, that's okay. My coffee's getting cold. I will say that I want to continue to make this platform better and better. So, oh, duh, I'm missing one big ass thing. One big ass thing that I will leave y'all with. One big ass thing to me. Told you about the LinkedIn courses and stuff. I am getting fucked on LinkedIn. I'm just going to tell you, I'm just going to be, I have no better way to put it. And I can't, it's unexplainable. It's unexplainable. Um, I know a lot of things that most people don't know because of my relationships with LinkedIn and because of the work that I've done nearing a decade on the platform. And as someone that has built community, that has done again a lot of work on the platform, thousands of pieces of content. I take checks from LinkedIn every single month. I'm an employee, contractor, same thing. And my content distribution is the worst that it's ever been, ever been. So, you know, it is. This has never happened to me before, and that there's always these peaks and valleys. But now the valley is like Hades. It's like, and so you have to make decisions at points like that, right? Um, because like I said at the top of this thing, it's about starts and stops. So just to give you an example, and you guys know the level of following that I have on LinkedIn, but I posted a dope ass video a few days ago, and I go back to it in an hour, and I have like 50 impressions. 50. Um, what can I do about that? I, some, tag a whole bunch of people and some bullshit like that. No, I don't do that. I only tag people when it's relevant, or send content when I think people can add to the conversation. So that's just not what I'm going to do. But trying some tips and tricks to no, I'm just not going to fucking do that. Anyway, so it's just trash right now, and it's totally out of my control. Again, this is an example of what we're talking about here with starts and stops and how in business and entrepreneurship things can happen that are out of your control. So, how do I respond? How would you all respond? You've built. I had 30 million, to be clear, 30 million views if you, over the course of a year. And now I put out a piece of content and it gets 50 impressions in an hour, couple hundred in the day. So I had to, first of all, after the ego hit, I had to sit down and think, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to respond to this? And just so y'all know, like, again, I'm an employee. I take a check every single month from them. So I have resources, I have contacts that normal people don't have. So I can get insight. So I can, but like at the end of the day, um, it just kind of, it's an is what it is situation. So what I have decided to do is to be the very best Ronnell that I can be. So I've noticed just in myself that my content could be better. Now, to be clear, that ain't got shit to do with my distribution. Nothing to do with my distribution. But by better, I mean if you guys have watched a course that I create, you see my passion, you see my joy. So I decided, you know what? I need to bring more of that to the content. I need to bring more of that best version of me. Not because it's going to trick the algorithm and I'm going to get, better distribution, because it ain't got shit to put you on game. It ain't got shit to do with that. Y'all know. Look at content. You can see plenty of pieces of shitty, self-aggrandizing content that gets shit tons of distribution and viewership and engagement. It ain't got nothing to do with the quality. It has something to do with algorithms and corporate outcomes. I can't control that shit. But I can make sure that whether it's one of you or 1,000 of you that see my content, that I am making impact. So I am on a mission to do what I did when I built this shit. One person, if it takes one person at a time, that's what I'm gonna fucking do. That's it. So whoever watches my content and sees my content, there's one of two things are gonna happen. They're gonna be like, that's my guy. Or that's not my guy. Both are good for me, but I gotta bring it. That's how I'm responding. That's how you learn from these starts and stops and apply what you've learned over the years. And that's what I've learned over the years is that at the end of the day, success comes one person at a time. And quite frankly, I don't need 30 million views. I need one, the right one. I need that person like you all that's like, oh, I got to bring this guy in to talk to our sales team. Oh, I've got to get our folks into his sales courses. Oh, this is a guy that would be a great consultant for me and my company. So that means I got to go full bore, no half-assing. Not that I was intentionally half-assing, but doing more content ad hoc. Just like, oh, I feel like talk. And that's part of what I do, and I'm never going to get away from that. But I need to do more content that is like more representative of who I am and what I'm about, considering that I may only get one shot. If I only get one shot, if only get one view, well, I need to make sure that it counts. So that's what I'm doing. That's how I've responded to that. Okay. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, whether you watched it live or you watched on replay, I appreciate you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Like this is what I want to do on this platform, and I will spend the more subscribers we have, the more time I can spend here. So tell your friends, tell your mama and them. Let's get more subscribers on this platform so that I have the opportunity to go deeper, more intimately, and create better educational experiences for the people that want to go deep dive. and less superficial. That's the challenge on LinkedIn. I can't get too deep. I gotta stay. I gotta keep it high and tight in 2 minutes. Thank you all. Cheers to you all. Now I got some work in front of me, so I'm gonna go through the door here, get in the coffee shop, knock out a few hours of work, and then go spend some time with my lovely bride. Peace out.